Today we're talking to some of the top sports technology reviewers that are on this platform, and we're asking them, what their favorite bike is. And it's kind of a fun question because a lot of these guys are pretty obsessed with cycling. Some of them aren't, but a lot of them are. And the way I'm phrasing it is, what's your favorite bike? Doesn't have to be like your fastest bike or your race bike or anything crazy like that, or most expensive or anything like that. What's your favorite bike? No wrong answers. So let's start with Ray from DC Raymaker. Ray, what's your favorite bike?
Favorite or current bike? No wrong answers. Damn straight there's no wrong answers. Definitely the cargo bike. Without question, I have the most fun in the cargo bike, which is an Urban Aero cargo bike. We actually have two of them, which I know sounds weird because they're kind of expensive, but we don't own a car. So we have 3 kids, and thus that's how we get around. So I go pick up kids, my wife go pick up kids. So we pick up all the things, dogs, groceries, Christmas trees, everything goes in the cargo bike, and it's without question the epicenter of our life. I was actually just looking this morning on the app, and it was 68 rides in the last 7 days on that, which sounds like a lot, but every time you go somewhere is a ride. So on the way to pick up the kids on the way home, it'll be one ride to their daycare, another ride to the next daughter's school, and then from there to home. So that's 3 rides just in the afternoon. But that's my favorite bike. And yeah, I've got road bikes, mountain bikes, and commuter bikes, but they're just bikes. And this is just how we get around, and it's surprisingly durable. And I've gone out in the snow in the middle of the winter, in the middle of a blizzard with it for hours on end. And it can do everything you think it can do and way more than you think it can do. So it's definitely my favorite.
My favorite bike? Of course, my bike. I'm still racing on my old BMC Time Machine TM01, which I bought back in 2012, I believe. It's mechanical, 10-speed, and really nothing fancy. It used to be fancy back then, but not that fancy anymore. And my road bike is a Road Machine, also a BMC Road Machine TMR01, but I always have my eyes on new bikes, and you just never know when a new one might join the family.
Now let's talk about my bike. I don't really know a lot about bikes. I bought my first real bike this year. I got a Specialized LA, and I absolutely love it. Before that, I've been riding other bikes, but they weren't kind of real bikes. And the Specialized LA definitely is a step up for me, and I've really been enjoying riding it. I'm not really sure what the components are that are on it. It has things, whatever it came with is what the bike has, to be completely honest. When I went to go pick up the bike after I bought it online, the guy at the bike shop had to show me how to use the shifter. So I'm very new to the cycling space, but I feel like I'm picking it up relatively quickly, at least in terms of using the bike, and I've really been just enjoying it. The only kind of things that I've done to it, not that I've really modified it, is I have some Shimano clipless pedals that are on there, which that has been a fun adventure. I've fallen more than a couple times trying to unclip myself from those pedals. That's been an adventure. And the only other things that I've added are a couple of bottle cages and GoPro mounts, of course. One for the front and one under the seat that looks backwards.
The next one is going to be your current favorite bike. Oof. I've got a old rusty mountain bike in my shed. Does that count?
Hey everyone, Taren here. Thanks off to Matt for letting me be a part of this. My favorite bike right now is currently a gravel bike, the Canyon Grail. And the reason for that is, look at the exploring that you get to do. While I look at a road bike as kind of like track shoes where you can really only do one thing, go fast, a gravel bike allows you to get through some trails or maybe get through some connectors to get through to other parts of roads that you haven't yet explored. So me, I'm chewing on gravel a lot these days.
Okay, so my favorite bike is kind of an interesting question because I haven't rode a bike in a really long time. I used to do triathlons. I was into all the sprints, Olympic, half Ironman, even did an Ironman down in Louisville. So I still have a couple bikes out in the garage, but I just don't really ride them. The time trial bike, my triathlon bike, is a Fuji, so I guess that's my favorite bike. Pretty much the only thing original on that bike is the frame. It's literally everything else I've upgraded. It's got a cork power meter, zip front end, everything carbon fiber I could put on there I did. It's got Flow 90mm wheels on the front and the back. So yeah, it goes fast. Honestly, I love riding it. I'm just not training for any triathlons right now, so I don't really have time to ride it.
Current/favorite bike. Well, if you've seen my content in the last 12 months, it has to go to the Aspero gravel bike that I've built up. I've really enjoyed getting off the main roads, away from the traffic, and exploring those gravel trails.
All right, so last topic, favorite bike. Well, most people that are really into bikes, well, they have more than just one bike. So today I'm gonna talk about two different bikes, one of my mountain bikes and then another bike I use for pretty much everything else. So first up is my Niner RLT9 steel gravel bike, and I use this thing for pretty much everything except for actual mountain biking. Road, gravel, touring, it's just super versatile. So I've been running a 1x drivetrain setup on it with a 42 chainring up front on a cork power meter crank with an 1142 rear cassette, and I use SRAM Rival for the shifters and the derailleur. And I've been absolutely loving these Maxxis Velocita 40C tires that are really versatile because they're smooth, but they have enough surface area where I can still take them off road. And then here I've got the Oveja Negra half pack bag that fits perfectly, and by the way, I've got a review on this thing up on my channel from like 4 years ago. And then for the cockpit, I have a nice wide flared handlebar, and for computer mounts, I currently have the Karoo 2 out front mount, which is only here because I'm trying to finish up my review on it, but after that, I'm pitching that thing. And then a couple additional quarter turn Garmin mounts. So my other favorite bike is one of my mountain bikes. That's the 2021 Santa Cruz Tallboy CC, and oh boy, do I love this thing. So this is what they call a downcountry bike. It's kind of one of those in-between categories where it can act like a cross-country bike, but it also has the rowdiness of a trail bike. And what that basically means is that it's a shorter travel full suspension bike, so it has 120mm of travel in the rear and 130mm up front. And I'm a big fan of Fox factory suspension. And with these style of downcountry bikes, they have the head angle that's really slack, so it's super stable at high speeds and can really eat up the chunk if need be. And then I run a 12x1 SRAM XX1 drivetrain, again with a cork power meter. I run Maxxis tires on this bike as well, a Fox transfer dropper post, and then my tried and true Out-V Possum saddle roll up for all the tubes and tools. And then for the cockpit, I run an 800mm Race Face Next carbon handlebar with a K-Edge Garmin quarter turn stem mount. So yeah, those are my favorite bikes. And I want to close out by saying, Matt, this was such a fun series for you to come up with, and I really appreciate you having me on along with these other great creators.
You are so welcome, Des. I cannot thank you guys enough. You know, every single one of you guys that participated in this series of videos. This is the last one. I've had a lot of requests to kind of like revisit this and do something slightly different next year. So maybe we'll do that depending on, you know, what you guys think. To answer the same question myself, definitely this bike here. This is the BMC SLR01. Component set on that is the SRAM Force wireless. That's the Axis kind of component set. It's fantastic. Disc brakes, it's my first bike with disc brakes. You know, the other bike that I've been riding a lot that I find really fun is a BMC mountain bike. It's their 4-stroke series. It's fantastic as well. But definitely, you know, this one is the favorite. You know, I can race on it. I can, you know, ride a variety of different road surfaces. It's got 28mm tires. They're the Pirelli P0s. So I'm pretty comfortable on it. It's a solid option. But huge thanks again to these guys. I mean, I don't know what to say. They're just fantastic people. Links to their channels in the description of this video. If you're not following them, please jump on it and make that happen. But I have a ton of fun things planned for the upcoming 2022 year. So hop on board, and whatever you do, be sure to get out there, swim, bike, run, rinse, and then repeat it all over again. And we will see you guys on the next one.